But like, so
one moment.
Go ahead, Alex.
Because I just had a question on the previous topic.
is Alex low to you guys?
Yeah, you
No?
are a little low.
Okay, yeah.
So just to go back just a moment for what she said, and seeing a lot of people in your families be together for a long time, they have kids and not choosing to get married. For those of you who have kids, right, as men, is having children not a bigger commitment than marrying someone? Because I've seen men who will, I'll give you a baby, right? And I feel in my mind that's a lifelong commitment, but I won't marry you. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out what the difference is between the two.
So let me ask a clarifying question.
Good question, Alex.
Babies born out of wedlock, who's more at fault, men or women?
Men.
Oh shit.
Remember, it's your kid. Remember Hamp? You sit there and scream for months, for years. It's your kid. And I've said before on other podcasts. Hold up. I said on their podcast before. If a man does not give his seed to a woman, then she won't get pregnant. So be careful who you procreate with, men.
That's crazy.
You are leaders in society.
All right, let me ask a couple questions. Let me ask.
At the same time, though, it is a woman's fault. You are in charge of your own body. You have complete 100% control over your body. So
please mute Mary. Just mute her.
I just want to talk. I want to give a point.
Hold on.
Let's be real. Because there's situations where a man will beg a female to keep a baby and she will abort that motherfucker so quick. And everybody want to be like, oh, that's fine. But the moment a female, y'all want to choose to keep a baby that a nigga don't want, it's, oh my God, what the fuck? He's such
and
a
I'll
man.
go again, man. Like I said to him weeks ago. If he didn't put the seed in her, they wouldn't be having that conversation in the first. Never mind, I can't talk. Never mind.
Why are you allowing a nigga to fuck you raw? This is your body. You have control. You have options. You get on birth control. You stop fucking these niggas raw. You get an abortion.
But y'all,
no, wait, that's not my question. That's
not Alex's question.
No.
None of this is Alex's question. I just want Alex's question.
Well, I don't.
To the men, specifically the men, is having a child a bigger commitment to you than getting married?
Well, Alex, the reason why I interjected is because your question to the men is assuming it's on the men when babies are born out of wedlock. And that's why we need to ask a clarifying question. Who is more at fault when babies are born out of wedlock?
It's not assuming, because your original question is marriage still worth the risk for men? So in context, we're talking about men, which is why she's
you would be right if we stayed in context often, and we don't. So what I'm saying is what Alex, how she's asking it is assuming. We first have to understand who's more at fault.
It has nothing.
That question
what's a better way to word the question so I can try to give you a good answer?
Like, I understand the wedlock portion of it, but I'm thinking from a man's perspective. From a man's perspective, right? Is a bigger commitment the child or getting married? Which is a bigger commitment to you all?
That's better.
So I'm asking.
I don't know what when you say that, I'm not sure I know how to answer the question, because I take very much so pride in being a good father. And I would take pride in being a good husband as well. So it doesn't really, I think.
So to clarify that.
Look at this. Hold on, Alex. Look at this answer here. What do you think about this? Big said marriage, he responsible for her and the kids. Just giving her the baby, just have to worry about the baby.
Okay.
And two.
That's problematic.
I mean, yeah, but listen.
But it's an answer.
And two with our child, like that's us. With the marriage, just like that contract, you leave, you're taking half, right? Like you're not me. This is me. So even if we take out the who's the responsible, my child is me. I will gladly take care of my responsibilities. But you can just leave whenever you want to leave and take half of my shit, and I'm still responsible. That's what we're talking about. Our issue, and I think women think, oh, we don't want to get married because we don't want to commit to you. We don't want to commit to you because it's not for life. Y'all leave relationships the time for a variety of different reasons.
Isn't it something like 85% of marriages are dissolved by the woman?
And 75.
75?
And the reason I asked that question,
higher for black women.
That's because y'all staying cheap. We talked about this.
Y'all is a relative. Y'all is a loose term. But Alex, you go ahead. You asked the question because what?
Yeah, the reason and thank you, Adrian, for giving your explanation, because that I don't agree with it, but it makes sense. I'm not a man, so but I respect your answer. The reason I asked that question is because Chief was saying that when he found out he was going to be a father, he was just excited about that. The thought of marrying his daughter's mother was never on his mind, right? So that's why I was wondering, because in conversations, you know, I've seen situations where men will go ahead, let me give you my baby, let me do this, that, and the third. Okay, this is a lifelong commitment also. They're a human, they're a person, right? But then you won't commit to me and marry me in that way.
So, and from my perspective, in that moment, though, it wasn't like, oh, I'm about to have a baby and we're going to break up. Like, that wasn't through my mind. I'm like, yo, we about to have, I wasn't having a baby. We were having a baby. You know what I'm saying? So I was in it. It's just, the marriage wasn't, to me, we were in a good place. We were happy. We were having a baby. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can I please ask a question without being interrupted? Please. The question is for the men. So Alex, that's an awesome springboarding question. And the question is, is it more responsibility of having a baby or getting married? A couple of episodes ago, we talked about, having kids out of wedlock and the issues that men go through, and they want to be with their children and the problems that they have outside of that. And so I think it is having a baby, I would think, is a lot more of a responsibility and commitment even to her, because you're still dealing with the mother of your child. And that's why you really should be very careful who you procreate with, because that is a lifelong commitment still. You may not want to marry her, but you still have to have interactions with her. You still have to interact with her because she's the mother of your child. When the baby or the child needs hospitalization or education or whatever, you're still connected to this woman. And that's why I'm surprised at the answer, because I would think it is even more responsibility, because you're still responsible for the baby,
but
directly her, because she's still in the picture and having to deal with.
But to Mr. White's point, though, the level of responsibility completely changes if you're not together. My responsibility is to raise my children and be the best father I can. My responsibility isn't to care for you anymore. Isn't to be too concerned with your emotions. Isn't to have to deal with those situations. My responsibility to you is to make sure that our children are in a safe place and doing well. And we communicate on a need to basis per se.
So do you agree? You don't have to. I'm really asking. This is a real question. Do you agree that the welfare and the mindset of the mother impacts the child?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you don't necessarily care about how she's doing, if she's not doing well, do you believe that impacts the child?
100%. But we're talking about the responsibility.
Yeah.
That's fine, responsibility, but there's still a commitment. Okay, I'm trying to word it again. There's still interaction and somewhat indirectly a commitment to her still.
Yes.
And still having to have some type of caring about her well-being, because your child is in her house. So if she's not well, the child is not well. So all I'm saying is it is still a very strong commitment, because you're still interacting with this woman for decades.
No one's denying. We're not denying that, though.
We kind of. So from my, go ahead, Alex.
No, I was just saying, like, I understand Adrian's point, and I get it now. That's why I asked the question and saying, for the child, I'm just worried about them, right? And I'm going to deal with you, and I'm only speaking with the woman because of the child, right? Versus if we're married, I have to deal with not only the child, but also the mother in a larger capacity, because she is my wife, because I have to provide this way and that way. So now I do understand. That's why I was just curious, and everyone's answer could be different, So to Adrian, the marriage is a bigger commitment than having a child. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then just what Asia was saying, I disagree a little bit with P, because people move on. Then they find a man that's going to take care of how they're supposed to feel. So from me, using my anecdotal experience, that shit don't have nothing to do with me. What you going through. Yeah, it could affect the child, but that's not my responsibility. And that's the key.
What's not your responsibility? Her.
The woman. Yeah.
Well, everybody's emotions are their own responsibility. That's the problem right there. Like your emotions are your responsibility. Your feelings are your responsibility.
Yeah. But when it comes to the child, as the parent, our responsibility comes in helping them regulate theirs.
No, yeah, I'm not talking about the kid. I'm just saying, like, if you're not married to somebody anymore, you're not with them anymore, you don't have to deal with their emotions. You shouldn't have to deal with them. If you in something with somebody, in a relationship with somebody, your emotions are your responsibility.
Yeah. Eris, would it be maybe to clarify, like, well, I'm not her support anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm not obligated to much care about it, to be candid.
Her support in a different way. It just changes. That's all. It just changes.
Yeah.
It just looks different. You're her support as a parent. Like y'all are still a team, right?
No.
But you're a team. Yeah. Like I finish. You're a team for the kid. So you are a team of parents. You are still a family.
Oh, you mean it's like two of us? What?
You're still.
I think you still omit that family part.
No,
exactly.
Traditional. I'm talking about family. Family. You're still a family. Like I dated somebody that had kids or whatever. I'm like, y'all are still a family unit. It just looks different. It's not a married family unit, but y'all still family. That woman that you had a kid with, that's still your family. It just doesn't look like the same as if they're your wife. But y'all are still a family. Because I'm coming at it as I am a product of a divorce, right? I am a kid whose parents are not together. They are my family. You understand what I'm saying? They're my mother and my father. It doesn't change. Just because that's not your girl or your wife, that's still your kid's mom. Y'all are still a family, right? For that kid, y'all are still a family.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That was my point, Eris.
We had that conversation beforehand. He said for your other children, like, are they not your family too because they weren't with your wife?
No, we were saying I think that our argument that time was like, if it's a mom and a kid, is that a family? And I was like, no, it's just a mom and a kid. But then we broke it down like they're still a family. So you were right in that circumstance. But we ain't family. My child is my family. And here's the thing: who's living this?
Y'all are a family. Y'all are.
Are you living this, Eris?
What do you mean?
Are you living like in this? Do you have a kid?
No, I am the kid, though, is what I'm saying. I'm giving you a perspective coming from a kid who has to deal with two parents that have been divorced, right? And it's very hard when they don't move in certain ways in regards to me as a family.
Yeah. So living it out in reality, it's not a family. That's my kid. Her mom got to do what she got to do with whatever she got to do it with. I'm not changing her tires. I'm not saving her from nothing. That's not my responsibility.
I've seen it the other way. I'm just saying it looks different. I think the word it's relative. Like family is relative, and the way that you define and shape family is relative. Like to me, I still see that as a family. Sorry, somebody's at my door.
Go ahead, T.
I think that like we have to look at the word relationship because it depends on how we relate. Because I can respect the fact that, look, a kid and its mother, that is one thing, and a father and the same kids is the same. It's a totally different thing. It depends on how we relate to each other. I mean, I can understand if I got a kid and me and the mother are no longer together, we are no longer in a relationship. Now, we can be in partnership because we have this child. But, partnership and relationship is two totally different things to me.
But it also depends on the person, too, because there are some people out there that will go, above and beyond to make sure that their child's parent is, still, okay. Like not, if an emergency happens and it's like, hey, yeah, you tire with my kids in the car. Yes, I'm gonna help you, even though we don't have any type of relationship or
with the kid in the car.
Yeah, let me make sure my kid is straight. So that
is the kid in the car.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So that's the same thing as you doing for your kid. If she have a flat tire without the kid in the car, that circumstance changes dramatically.
If she go and get the kid, that's the car that she drives to get the kid.
I'll go and get the kid.
If my kid is not in there, I could care less.
Wait. So just so I'm clear, Eris, you're saying the child's okay. So the child's mother should be able to call the father if she has a flat tire, and his responsibility to fix it.
What I'm saying is this. I'm not saying that it's necessarily, maybe if I'm the woman, let's say, I'm not gonna necessarily call him first, right? But if I can't get somebody to fix the tire, I would like to know that he's an option. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying because like I have to drive this kid around in this car. And like, yes, I might have AAA, whatever. If I've exhausted all my options and I'm calling you, I'm like, look, could you give me a hand? Could you help me? Whatever. It should not be a problem.
So how would you feel? So question. You don't have
yeah. Good.
Right. So how would you feel if somebody calling your nigga
I'm with
all the time?
Exactly.
No, I'm telling you, I'm with it as long as my thing is this. As long as you've exhausted, like I said, I'm not gonna be every 5 seconds. I need. What I'm saying is, if it's like, okay, I've called this person, I've called that person, this is my last resort. I'm like, okay, cool. That's the mother of your child. She needs to, like, she's tried all of these things and she's using you as a lifeline I'm like, cool, go ahead.
So as long as for you, it's as long as it's it's the last lifeline, then she could call your nigga and be like, come help me. Like, how would you know that?
I'm like, we out. I'm going with you.
How would you know? How would you know that that's not her first call every time because he always comes?
Is he wrong? Is he wrong? And would you fault him for saying no?
Is he wrong? First of all, let me finish Mary's question. Could you like say that again? The last part.
Well, I need to get Ted and Mr. White in because they live this out. Got an echo.
But I'm just saying, if you're on the other end where you're not, you don't have. Matter of fact, say you do have a child with this man. He has a child with somebody else outside of you. The other baby mother is always constantly calling to come save.
Right. That's different. Always constantly calling.
Some type of way.
Yeah. I'm saying always constantly calling. I'm saying that there's a level of like too much, and there's such thing as boundaries, and that's why you have a conversation about expectations and boundaries first.
Bitches don't know that.
They gonna learn.
They don't know nothing about boundaries.
They gonna learn.
Yeah. See, Eris, everything is too relative, and then you open Pandora's box with that. When the bullets start flying, you'll feel differently. You know what Mike said, right? As soon as you get punched in your shit, you'll feel a different way about it. And I think that's what in real life. So, Mr. White, you kind of you got some real life experience. What you think?
Yeah, if you wanted me to come change your tire, you shouldn't have left. So it's a wrap for
like that. Shit like that.
And like Hamp said, like if you sick or you can't do something, cool, give me my babies. I will make sure they're good. But it's not my job to help you. Now with my oldest daughter mom, that's a little different because I don't have her as much as I have my other ones. So if you're struggling, I'm more inclined to help her more. But again, because go ahead.
Nah, you making exceptions, and that's what I'm trying to say. But you making exceptions. If that's the rule, then that's the rule.
No, there's always an exception.
But I'm trying to.
If you hold on. If you got a child, hold on. If you have a child, so like with my oldest daughter, right? I try to see her monthly, and then I get her every holiday and on the summers. And her mom is a single mom, so if she need to borrow money like here and there, okay, cool. My ex-wife, it's a wrap for you.
Then it's conditional.
But it's because but it's called also too because I'm not my oldest daughter mom. She's taking on a lot more responsibility when it comes to my child too. So that matters.
I understand that.
Hold on. And I don't have as much access to get straight to her. My other kids are here. My other kids are here. You don't need me for nothing.
That's not
how I set it up.
That's not how you saying black and white, and there's always an area of gray, and that's what I'm trying to say. That's why it's relative. No.
But there's always a some outlier in everything. Nothing is 100%. I thought we are, but you are new here, so we already know there's always a one. Just how every time we bring up something about women, it never applies to all of the women here. Like y'all are always the exception to the rule. So there's always an exception.
You're
there's always an exception to the rule.
Real shady right
I'm being honest.
So this is my thing. For people,
I pulled that tape with you. Right? I can pull the tape with you too.
But I'm new, right? And you got listeners that
absolutely
too. So they don't know that about you saying stuff. You sounding real absolute, even as somebody that counsels people. So sharing that part is important.
Yo, hey Adrian, lying isn't omission, bro. Omission is not lying, because if you tell these niggas everything, they jump on the littlest shit in the world. The daughter lives a 3-hour plane ride away, right? So if the mom doesn't have any resources and he has AAA because he don't see the baby but every so often, he's more inclined to give because he's not there at the present. But he's saying usually, right? Since the other kids are next door, nigga, if you stranded, you stranded. I go pick him up from school. And if you stranded tomorrow, you'll be stranded tomorrow. That's actually what real said. What you think, said? What you think, said? Oh, said be having the worst.
He has bad reception. Can I after he gets done? I'm gonna get
hold on, Aid. Let's see if Isha wants something that you could jump in. Yeah. Say you good?
For Adrian. You hear me?
He's frozen.
Yeah.
Take him out. Mary. No, I fuck with him. I do.
I want to say because I think he has real life experience with this too.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do. I live it every day, honestly. So I'm directly dealing with the situation. So in regards to it, when it comes to my kid's mother, well, my son's mother specifically, I will say, like, she can't ask me for shit. She can't get nothing from me. If she can't handle it, he can come be with me. Period, point blank. I can take care of everything that needs to be done. And this is based on all the stuff that she has done. Has she done some fucked up shit? Yes, absolutely. Now, if we were working together, we were co-parenting how we should be co-parenting, that's one thing. However, when you going out and doing all this fuck shit, now, good luck. I can give a fuck about you. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it boils down to for me.
I mean, it's a little petty, but I understand. I completely understand.
It's not petty. It's real shit.
But I get it. I mean, it's petty. I think it's petty, but I understand. Like, I'm not saying wrong or right. I'm just saying I get it. I completely understand.
No, but it's not about pettiness at all with me. It's just I'm just real with the situation. If you gonna keep doing all this wild shit, putting my son in these situations that you put him in, then that's just what it is for me. It's up. You know what I'm saying? Your emotions, your whatever, I can care less about it. I'll take my son and I'll raise him, and you can get your life together. Is what it is.
Because if it was like in a perfect world, like, you might be inclined to help her more, but she
possibly depending on what it is. On what it is. But at the end of the day, we're not together. My wife ain't going for that fuck shit neither. So I'm not worrying about that. So like Murray said, you going where? Yeah, nah, nigga, you ain't going nowhere. You better tell her to get AAA. Or
shit like that. Shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, yeah, that's dead.
Let me get Ish. What you think, Ish?
I agree with the guy. I think some women too, as long as you continue to help them. No, some men. Let me talk about my child's father. For him to help me, I had to be still sleeping with him. So once I cut off that line, then he wasn't a father to my son.
Wow.
So he's not my family, but some.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
So, my bad. Those were for him, Isha, by the way. That's why I was playing those sounds.
It is, yeah.
So, yeah, not family.
I don't even know him.
Damn.
Never met him.
So the woman shouldn't sacrifice a little bit for the kid? She shouldn't sacrifice a little bit for him?
Who? Me sacrifice for my son?
I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for the kid. Isn't that what we've said that before? I've heard some women say we gotta do what we gotta do for the kid. So,
I'll get a second job. I get a second job. My son ain't missing no meals.
I'm just asking questions.
You've seen set it off.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta call Big Mate.
Man,
Big Mate.
So I want to ask. Oh, go ahead, Asia. You had something.
I just wanted to sum it all up back to my original statement. Men need to be very careful who they procreate with, because the sentiments I've heard on this panel about she ain't got nothing coming, she can't get shit, and it's like almost like a very, very strong dislike / kick rocks, I never knew you type of feeling towards the woman that you made a baby with. And that's why I go back and say, yo, like, that's such a heavy responsibility to make a baby with someone, because you're connected to her, and how people can feel so strongly against the person you actually laid with, put your seed in, and now he's like, nigga, do what you got to do, I don't really care. So is it that men have to raise their standards on who they sleep with and who they decide to procreate with? Is all I'm asking, is all I'm saying. Bring your standards up and just be more cognizant and aware of that potentiality. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I hear what you're saying. Let me respond to that one time real quick, Hamp. I understand everything that you're saying, Asia, but I mean, people make mistakes. We get that. But when you're in a situation, you're dealing with a situation and everything is cool up until the point where things go bad. And then when things go bad, people change. That's where the difference comes in. I could specifically with my situation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We were married. We were together for 8-9 years. All right. So had a son, so forth and so on. After that, everything changed. And it's like she wants a absentee father. And I'm not that. I'm fully involved with everything in regards to my kids. I'm fully knowledgeable. I want to know everything. I want to know this. I want to know that. And with her, oh, it's my son, I'm going to do this. No, you're not. That's not what's going to happen. You see what I'm saying? And that's where the vindictiveness comes. And then that's when I say, okay, well, then we're going to go through this, how we go through this. So it's when you get into the situation, you don't plan for it to happen. You think that you're in a situation where you have somebody that's on a certain level, but then when things break down, they completely break down. That's how you get to the point of where I am, where it's like, good luck.
I remember a few episodes ago, you weren't on this episode, said.
I was.
And the men you don't even know what I'm about to say. How you know?
Because I literally I watch every one, and I be in the background majority of the time.
Panel, but you weren't. We're going down a different path. That ain't the point. That ain't the point. And so the men on the panel were berating, like dragging women across hot coals about who we allow in our lives and who we spread our legs to. And all I'm saying, if it is good for the goose, it is good for the gander. You can't have it both ways. And so, yes, things break down. And so we had this big in-depth conversation about knowing who you're truly with. For real, knowing them. Things happen, of course, but really knowing who they are. Did you ignore red flags in the beginning? I hear feedback. But did you ignore red flags in the beginning? Because that's something else we talked about before on the panel some weeks, maybe months ago at this point. And so all I'm saying is, yes, things happen, people change, but fundamentally they don't change. It's just that we ignored some red flags, we ignored some behaviors. And that's human nature. We want to see the best in people. So I'm not faulting anybody. I'm just saying sometimes you got to take accountability for what has occurred.
Yeah.
And what
let me